Hello, sweeties. Welcome to the first episode of De Frente com Gabi, the show in which I give you a ton of information that you never knew you needed, but you definitely shouldn't be living without. I am teacher Gabi, and if you're new here, you should definitely subscribe to our dear YouTube channel for more English content and nerd stuff. It's all made with a lot of love by the teachers of Apollo English Academy for you. So, welcome. Today we are here to talk about some hot pop culture tea. So if you are a person who isn't aware of the American hip hop scene or who these artists are, that's okay. I will explain it all to you like you are 5 years old, okay? Worry not. So to understand what happened between these two rappers, Drake and Kendrick Lamar, we have to go back in time a little bit. 13 years to be more precise. In 2011, they collaborated in a song called Buried Alive Interlude in Drake's album called Take Care. In 2012, Kendrick Lamar opened one of Drake's concerts since he was the smaller artist at the time. And Drake also showed up in Kendrick's album called Good Kid, Mad City. And the track was called Poetic Justice. And it's quite a good song, honestly. I like it a lot. And by the way, if you enjoy storytelling through music, I definitely recommend this album, Good Kid, Mad City, because it's amazing and truly feels like you're watching a short film through your ears, you know? So in 2013, Kendrick Lamar featured in a song called Control by Big Sean. And oh boy, things get a little tricky. In this track, Kendrick named not only Drake, but many other famous rappers at the time, like J. Cole, Pusha T, Tyler, the Creator, and even Big Sean himself. And he said that while he loved all of them, he wanted to murder them. I mean, of course, he didn't mean it literally, okay? Calm down. He means that he wants to be better than them, and he even says that he wants their fans to forget that they exist because they are too busy appreciating Kendrick instead. So this may sound rude to you, but this is very common in rapping. That's basically its nature. Many people consider hip-hop to be a competitive sport in which, you know, the best competitor eventually wins. So all rappers claim to be the best, but Kendrick is saying that you need to be the best. You know, you have to come for the crown. So claiming it is not enough anymore. Now, most rappers took this extremely well because, as I said, this is the natural spirit of competition within rapping, right? It's part of their cultural rap game. And some of these artists even responded in other songs, but Drake, he didn't take it very well, actually. So this is the best time to tell you where these two rappers came from, because that's actually extremely important for this story. Drake came from Toronto, Canada, and he had a white mother and a black father who wasn't very present until after he became famous. He started his public life as an actor in Canada and later changed his career to rapping. This means that Drake was never too involved in the American hip-hop culture. That's not really important. He's an outsider, yes, but if he is respectful enough of the big hip-hop stars that are well-respected in the United States, you know, being an outsider is not that big of a problem, you know? But that usually is not the case when it comes to Drake. Now, Kendrick is the opposite situation. He was born in Chicago, but he moved to Compton with his family. Compton is in California, by the way. He moved to Compton when he was a child, when he was around 5 years old. And this is very important because Compton is one of the cities in which the biggest rap stars in the history of hip-hop were born or were originally from. NWA, one of the most influential rap groups ever, formed by names like Ice Cube, Dr. Dre, Eazy-E, they started in Compton. If you take a step back and look at California as a market for hip-hop, you have names like Snoop Dogg and Tupac. So This is where Kendrick was born. Actually, this is where he comes from culturally. And this city in California is known for its violence and gang activity, of course, but mainly for its contributions to rapping and hip hop culture, which is quite amazing. So when Drake hears Kendrick rapping like that while naming him, he takes it super personally, right? Because he doesn't understand really that rappers may say stuff about each other in their songs, but that doesn't mean they have to be enemies outside of the game, right? So years go by and Kendrick and Drake do something called sneak diss, which means talking about each other in their songs without actually naming each other. It was like a Cold War, so if you interpreted their songs deeply enough, you could kind of tell they were rapping about each other, but nothing too drastic, honestly. Now, fast forward to October 2023, when things get truly worse. Drake released a song called First Person Shooter with a rapper called J. Cole that I actually mentioned earlier. J. Cole mentions Kendrick directly in this verse. Love when they argue the hardest MC. Is it K. Dot? Is it Aubrey or me? We the big three like we started a league, but right now I feel like Muhammad Ali. That's what he says. Great verse. So now, K. Dot is one of Kendrick's nicknames, and Aubrey is Drake's middle name. So he's basically saying that Kendrick, Drake, and himself are the big three of the rap industry, which sounds fine, right? But Kendrick doesn't like that at all, actually. You see, apparently Drake wanted Kendrick to be in this song, but he refused because he hates Drake, right? So when J. Cole mentions him anyway, Kendrick doesn't like it. So he responds, right? In March 2024, Kendrick is in a song called Like That with artists Metro Boomin and Future. And in this song, he responds to First Person Shooter, saying very simply, motherfuck the big three, it's just big me. Again, remember when he said he wanted to be the best? He was not kidding, right? He definitely wasn't. There is no big three to him, which is consistent when it comes to Kendrick, right? He wants to be the best. And once again, Drake doesn't like that. And he responds. And what happens next is a succession of songs from these two artists accusing each other of some pretty terrible things. So let's try to speed run this as well as we can. In April 19, 2024, Drake released Push-Ups, attacking not only Kendrick, but a bunch of other people who don't really like him, which is fine. He calls Kendrick short. Yeah, he calls Kendrick short, okay? Kendrick is short. I'm gonna say that. He calls Kendrick short and says that he's responsible for making him famous because remember, Kendrick was the smaller artist at the time. Now saying that he was smaller feels like a short joke, but it's not, I promise. Immediately after, on the same day, he releases a song called Tailor Made Freestyle using AI voices of Tupac and Snoop Dogg, super important rappers where Kendrick is from, as I mentioned. And in this song, he makes fun of Kendrick for being friends with Taylor Swift and basically accuses him of not being in control of his own career, which is pretty bad. In April 30th, 11 days later, Kendrick releases Euphoria. In this song, he says Drake only wants attention and fame, has no respect for hip-hop culture, exploits other artists to make himself look legit in the industry, among other things. 3 days later, he releases 616 in LA, making fun of some of Drake's song titles like 8 a.m. in Charlotte, 6 p.m. in New York. It's kind of his brand, so he's making fun of it. In this song, he asks Drake if he really trusts his friends and says that people in his record label, OVO, are working for him and giving him private information about Drake because they actually hate him. Oof. Drake then releases Family Matters, this is where things get really ugly, right? This is when we realize these guys truly hate each other. In this song, he accuses Kendrick of beating his wife and getting cheated on by the same wife, and also says that one of Kendrick's children is not actually his, but his best friend's, Day Free. They are some really heavy accusations, and the public is trying to digest everything when less than an hour later, Kendrick Lamar responds with Meet the Grams. In Meet the Grams, he writes letters to each member of Drake's family, the Grams. He accuses Drake of not taking care of his son, Adonis, of being a sexual abuser, of treating women extremely poorly, of having drugs and gambling problems. It's one of the heaviest songs I've ever heard in my life, and this is when the public realizes that Kendrick and Drake will never, ever be friendly again, basically. 14 hours after Meet the Grams, Kendrick releases what is, until today, the most popular hip-hop song in the world in 2024. I don't think it's an exaggeration to say that at this point. Not Like Us is a catchy club banger type of song, making fun of Drake in every possible way. In this song, he calls him a pedophile, a scammer, makes fun of his brand OVO. He exposes all the things he stole from Black American artists to keep himself relevant. It's a nightmare for Drake, and this song is without a doubt the one that declares Kendrick as the winner of this fight. Now, Drake responded a while later with a song called The Hard Part 6, which is a joke. You know, Kendrick has all of these tracks called The Hard Part 4, 5, and then Drake stole The Hard Part 6. But at that point, it was over. And to make things worse, Kendrick will be performing at the Super Bowl halftime show in 2025, which is probably the most famous stage performance in the world, with over 100 million people watching. So, this is how it ended. Drake is still releasing music, a lot of them, but they're not doing very good in numbers. People are very excited for Kendrick's new album, which might be coming in the next few months. Who knows? As a Kendrick fan, I'm super excited. Many people think that Drake and Kendrick present two sides of a coin right now. Drake represents the commercial side of the industry. He cares about numbers, money, doesn't write his own music, is on social media most of the time, while Kendrick is seriously concerned about his craft. I mean, at least he seems to be. He writes his own music, he's super involved in every step of the process, and he is very private about his personal life, honestly. He's not on social media at all. The fact that Kendrick won this battle has made people a little more optimistic about the future, not only of hip-hop culture, but also the music industry as a whole. But what about you? What do you think about Kendrick's songs? Did Drake get what he deserved? Was it a little too much? Do you think Drake actually won? I mean, that's weird, but sure, why not? Let me know in the comments. And if you want to know more about this whole thing, there are amazing Black American YouTubers talking about it, making content about hip-hop, and are able to explain this way better than I will ever be. I will leave a few links of their videos in the description box below, so go check them out too. Thank you for watching today's De Frente com Gabi, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more information that you never knew you needed, but now you have. So, bye!